Hi, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if it's your first time here. I'm Lindsay, and I thought since I did a short a while ago giving some sci-fi recs, I'd do a longer video kind of explaining why I recommend those books and even add on a couple more books. So let me get into that. So the first book is This Is How You Lose the Time War, and I can't really tell you anything about this book because I believe the best way to go into it is without any prior knowledge. I didn't really know anything about it going into it besides it's about time traveling, so that's all I'll tell you. And I'll read you this review on the back by V.E. Schwab that says, "Holy shit, this was good." That's really all you need to know, but other than it was completely mind-boggling in the best way, I just cannot recommend it more. I'm not gonna say anything else because I want to, and it'll trust me, you need to go into this not really knowing anything. Because also, I feel like anything I can say is a spoiler, and just know, I'm just putting that aside, read it. So the next one is Artemis Fowl. This is a sci-fi fantasy, and I saw some sites calling it YA, some calling it middle grade. I believe it's more middle grade, but that doesn't mean that teens and even adults can't read it. I actually recommended this to a teen one time, and they went, "Kid genius? Word." And I think about that every time I see it. But as the teen said, it's about a child named Artemis who comes from a wealthy family, and he is very smart, very innovative, and he finds out about a hidden magical world. Things ensue from there. It is a, let me count, 8-book series. I was about to say 7, it's 8. But they are all relatively short. I believe this first book is less than 300 pages. Highly recommend if you are just getting into sci-fi, especially if you like fantasy. I think this can bring you into that sci-fi world of it all. Because of the way it mixes both, it's kind of just slowly introducing you to sci-fi, so this is a good start. So this is another book by the same author. I believe it's in the short, and I think you pronounce his name Owen. I just looked it up. Colfer. And it is another, I believe, middle grade, more sci-fi than Artemis Fowl. It is listed as a sci-fi fantasy as well, but I believe this goes a little bit more into sci-fi. It kind of has that virus element, it has a space element, it has technology element. It is another one that is more middle grade, teen, you know, where I would say this is a little older than Artemis Fowl as when it comes to the age range of who it might be directed at. But again, anyone, any age can read it. I think a good starter book for sci-fi as well. I talked about this book in a past video, in my video where I talked about the books that I read last year, and it's a very sci-fi book by Stephanie Meyer, who wrote Twilight. It's called The Host. It is about humanity post an alien invasion where they use people's bodies to host these alien life forces. Hence the name The Host. It is kind of one POV, kind of dual POV, because it is both the POV of the alien and the host, but I'm going to not give more details than that because I don't want to spoil anything. Also, in the last video talking about this, I mentioned the problematic age gap in one of the relationships in the book. As I said last time, I think you can read problematic things without being problematic. It's more so if you feel like that's okay in real life, you feel, you know, you get what I'm saying. It's just, it was a cute book. It was a good book. Recommend it, especially if you like romance. It is a sci-fi romance, and I do think it is one of Stephanie Meyer's better novels. So now I have some Star Wars book recommendations, and I wasn't sure if I was going to do these because the thing about Star Wars books is they're not official. I don't want to say they're not canon, because what really is canon in the Star Wars universe these days with all the different stories, and like I personally don't like the sequels as much, so I don't really subscribe to their story. But yeah, I'm going to show you these books anyway. This first one is probably one of my favorite Star Wars books because it goes into the backstory of Qui-Gon Jinn and just more about him as Obi-Wan was his Padawan, as it's called, Master and Apprentice. I think it's really interesting how it fleshes out a less fleshed out character, but one that is really interesting and I think people would have liked more from. The story also really complements the ideas that I already had about Qui-Gon, so that could be why I personally enjoy it. However, if that's a character that you enjoy and want to just hear more about, even if it's just kind of a not official story, highly recommend this book. Again, these are sci-fi because it's Star Wars, you know? Star Wars is sci-fi. Okay, these next two books I am going to do together. They're very much children, middle grade books. However, you can read them as an adult. They are so cute. This first one, I believe, starts at the prequels. It's been a while since I read it, but it goes all the way up to episode 6, and it's Anakin's point of view, and I really enjoyed it. It's very cute, and I think Anakin is a character that a lot of people can empathize with, even though he killed not just the men, but the women and children too. My battery died when I was talking about how Anakin's unquenchable desire to keep his loved ones safe and with him is what drove him over the edge, and I think that makes him one of the original poor little meow meows. But I have to make the rest of this quick because, you know, batteries. So I think the ending of this is very much for fans of Obi-Wan and Anakin and their friendship. Highly, highly recommend. The second one is the same thing, however, it is from Obi-Wan's point of view. Maybe this is the one with the ending that is for fans of Anakin and Obi-Wan. Maybe they both had the same ending. I don't, again, don't remember them as well because it's been a while. However, it's just very cute for fans of Star Wars. I would highly recommend it for a younger audience. However, adults can read it too. And yeah, there's just, what are they even called? I'm just showing you the cover and I don't even know what they're called. Hold on a second. Look at this. Poor little meow meow. So this one's called The Rise and Fall of Darth Vader. And this one's The Life and Legend of Obi-Wan Kenobi. So yeah, they're just really cute stories. Star Wars from from a specific character's point of view, since the movies are really from multiple point of views. And highly, highly recommend. Highly, highly, highly recommend. I think this one is also prequels to when Obi-Wan, you know? And then I think it has also a little bit of his ghost afterlife. So yeah, highly, highly recommend all of these books that I just spoke about, especially if we were just getting into sci-fi. I don't read sci-fi as much, so I'm sure there are other people that have other recommendations. I do want to read more sci-fi in the future because I do enjoy it. Fantasy is always my top genre, especially fantasy romance. However, I do enjoy sci-fi as well, so I'm hoping in the future to continue to talk about more sci-fi books and recommend them as I read them, as I've been doing on this channel. And yeah, I will see you soon. Like and subscribe for more videos like this, for more recommendations, for more reviews. Bye!